oversee the submission of homework this evening and fun activities.
I've got your name.
Yeah. And we'll hope you're accurate. When I read off the first name, I will read off the participant from the class that we're going to hear a few comments about, and then the next three names will be for the members that are going to comment about that particular person.
And they'll just stand where they
Yes,
are.
if the first person will stand,
You
the
go
first
with that
person to stand is Mike Rogers. So you don't have to stand, Mike Rogers. And the first person to comment on Mike Rogers is Arliss Miller.
She's got notes.
Make you good, Doris.
She wrote notes.
She is a user for notes. Well, hi, Mike.
Hey.
Little tidbit I found out about Mike is that they went to Italy. They've been to Italy, and since they were up here at Estes Park, they went to the Christmas store and got a little Christmas ornament of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Oh. Because they didn't get one because he was pickpocketed while he was in Italy.
Yeah.
They didn't have any money. So they couldn't get little things that they wanted to until they got up here at the reunion. So we're happy
True
to have
story.
this.
They're both made in China.
Arliss,
So that's my story.
that's very good. Now, that's the kind of homework you were looking for. There we go.
First rate. Make us all look
Joan
bad.
McElroy.
Found out that Mike and Joyce have been married for 32 years, and that they have 4 children and one grandson, 4 weeks old.
Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. Mark Madsen.
Well, I for years have believed that Mike Rogers took over preaching at his father's church, which he never actually did. I found out last night. I found out that he actually preached in Shen for a couple of years, and then he preached in the little church south of Sydney. Remember that one? It's just a few miles. The little church out there for 18 years.
Wow.
Thank you, Mark. And Mark, you should remain standing.
Oh, here we go.
Before you stand, pardon me, I didn't do my homework. Yeah, before we do that, I've got to get Joyce Rogers to stand, please. Joyce, Doug Capel will please make a few comments, if you would.
I just met Joyce tonight. I understand she's used to live in Tabor. She's an excellent quilter. Likes to do a lot of quilting.
Wonderful. Doug, thank you very much. For someone who's never been to Tabor, you did a fine job. Deb Biggers.
Well, I spent a little time with Mike and Joyce last night and found out she's scared of bears and in dumpsters. And I just found out they were married. I mean, I've never met her before. And they're going to Steamboat after this.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And now, Marianne Manson.
Hi. Well, I found out something really fun, was that actually Joyce and Mike, they met at a church picnic, and Mike was obviously very smitten because he asked her out a meal in the next couple of days, and then they got married 2.5 months later.
Wow.
So it was fun to me. Yeah,
That's cool.
Thank you very much. Now, Mark Manson. If you could stand up, please.
Okay.
There we go, Mark.
Mark Manson, the first person to comment on you is Paul Martin.
Okay, Paul.
Yes, I understand you like golf.
You
Yes. That's about as far as I got. Golf. I didn't do intensive homework. I did just enough to get a D. Mark, the next person, Kenny Anton.
Kenny didn't
Didn't do his homework. Oh, get it.
Kenny, that's an honest answer.
You get an F. Yeah.
Now, this one's good. This guy ought to know a lot about you, Mark Manson. Run that along.
Oh boy.
Hold on.
Ron, before you comment, keep in mind, these are things that happened after you graduated from high school, not during high school.
No specification, no timeline. Mark and I have been friends for God knows how many years, junior high at least. Model rocketry, I can remember that, shooting model rockets off the football field with cherry bombs inside them.
Yeah.
Ducking when they go back down. But no, Mark, we've lived together in Texas. He says he knows how to golf. I've seen his proof of that.
Better being a hack.
But I don't know. What can I say about Mark? He's a nice guy, a true friend. Lives out here in Colorado. Never invites me out.
Mark.
He comes out and doesn't tell me he's here.
Love you, Mark.
Mark, thank you very much.
Sure.
Mary Ann Madsen, would you please stand up?
Oh, no.
Because Mike Rogers has a few things to say.
I do. I've discovered that Mary Ann's father is actually from Czechoslovakia, and her mother's from Germany. And so that I found that very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And Arliss Miller?
There you go, Arnold. Yeah.
I found out that when she was giving about Mike and Joyce, about it meant to be, that her and Mark got together as it was meant to be. So they just got together
By chance.
thank you, by chance. See, my memory's going, I'm getting old. And so it was just something real special, and it just was meant to be for them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Joan McElroy.
I spent some time with Mark and Mary Ann, and I found out that she cares very much about animals. She volunteers at an animal shelter, and that she likes dark chocolate. She had to run away last night to get some, and that she has a beautiful blue topaz ring that her mother used to wear. And it's very special to her, and it's gorgeous to get a chance to look at it. And I think she's a very special person and has a great personality.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now, Ron McElroy,
What? I just
Please.
got up.
please stand up again. Roger Sturm, could you please say a few comments about Ron McElroy?
Keep it clean, Roger. Keep it clean.
Me and Ron, after high school, chummed around a bunch after he got back to Texas, and had a lot of fun. And what I've learned about him, what I think is really so cool, is that he is very good at building these strip canoes and kayaks. And if you have a chance, you should look at what this guy does, because it's very impressive.
Thank you, Roger. Sam Walters.
I got the meeting a while ago. Marta helped me out. She said, I'll get on Facebook and find out some things about it. She didn't say anything to me, so we'll go meeting. And you always look at commonalities, and I found out that we do have a connection because he's the poultry industry in Gainesville, Georgia, which is a few miles north of us, is the poultry capital of the world. Get that on a trivia contest, you can win something. But I had a few minutes to talk to him. He's a very interesting person, and I would like to spend time. He lives in Nebraska, which is being somebody from the other side of Mississippi. I tell people I think things on the west of Mississippi doesn't exist. Then when we get to Nebraska, I don't think that even exists at all. But it's nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Marta?
Marta. Ron has 15 places living as an electrical ventilation supervisor at Michael Foods in Bluefield, Nebraska. And he it just impresses me as we've gotten reacquainted and reconnected on Facebook. He's just a very, very kind and
Thank you. Ron?
Yeah.
You may have a seat.
I kind of liked what I was hearing.
But it's your time out of the spotlight because it's Joan McElroy's time in the spotlight. Mark Manson.
Well, I learned that Joan, she actually met Ron where they work at the chicken factory. What do you egg factory?
Chicken place.
Anyway, she works with over 900 chickens in a building that's almost a football field length, and she makes sure she takes care of them and feeds them water or whatever they need. And this is so everybody can have eggs for breakfast, which I thought was interesting. But over 900 chickens.
That's a lot of chickens.
Oh, 900,000?
Yes.
Oh,
100,000?
Okay. Well, right.
that's even more.
Even more.
Kenny Anton.
I did do a little homework on this.
Wonderful.
I found out that she works, I thought it was like 3 million chickens. Well, we met them last year in Fairplay.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kenny. I have the last say on this one. Joe, I understand that you are a very good kayaker. I didn't realize your husband does your kayaks for you, but yes, you enjoy kayaking. Not only that, but one of the companies that, one of the sanitation ingredients they use in Michael Foods comes from a company that we work with at XFE Products in Des Moines. So Joan and I have somewhat of a commonality there. Let's see. We've got Janet Anton. Please stand up. Because Bill Zackert has something to say. Oh my God. The surrogate Bill Zackert. Now, for those of you that don't know,
Give me the picture.
this is Janet Ruggenworth. Ruggenworth, okay. And she is, I think Tim has introduced her to most folks.
From Clinton, Iowa.
From Clinton, Iowa, yes. On the Mississippi. Janet, did you get any homework accomplished?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Janet has been retired for 3.5 years now from the IRS, so if anyone has anything to hide, you better just zip it right now. Loves riding the Harley. Went on a big road trip with her husband, 4,200 miles over a span of 2 weeks. She met Kenny while she was bowling. So they obviously are bowling enthusiasts. Lives in Arvada, been married for 16 years. And she hiked up to Gem Lake today.
Yes, I did.
Wonderful.
Yes, you did. You did a good job.
Janet, thank you.
I was good.
Deb Hillman.
Well, I haven't talked to Janet a whole lot since we got here because she's been so busy making sure everybody's taken care of. So I think she could be a party planner or a wedding planner. I see she's a lot more organized than high school. So I want to thank you for everything you've done. It's been wonderful.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Deb. And Deanna Lutz.
Oh, yeah. You know, Janet and I went to school together in Warrensburg. I don't know if you all knew that, but she and I were the only ones from Shenandoah that went to Warrensburg. And we got acquainted down there, and we were from opposite worlds pretty much, and we got together and had a great time down there. But what I've really liked about this reunion is that we've kind of rekindled. She always remembers my birthday in December, primarily because mine is 2 days before hers. So we do, we connect then, but also she's just done an awesome job. I'm sure everybody can agree. And I totally get it when her husband says we refer to her as JIC. And you all, if you don't know that right now, it's Janet's in charge, but I think control. Okay, no, it's great.
Kenny Anton. Ron McElroy, your homework is due.
I don't know Kenny real well. I do know that they like bowling and riding Harleys. I think opening weekend of their bowling season, he bowled a 300, if I remember right.
It didn't count because it was unopposed. The opposing team wasn't there, so it didn't count.
But it doesn't matter.
I do know, Kenny and I do have a connection. I'm into international scouts. I restored one. And I know Kenny last year came down to Fairplay, actually twice. The rendezvous that I was at was only one weekend, but he loves international harvesters so much. He came twice. So I know there's a connection between us.
Thank you, Rob. Roger Stern.
Just met Kenny last night and just know a few things about him. I know he grew up in southwest Colorado and is an avid bowler, and he met Janet bowling.
Wonderful. Thank you, Roger. Let's see. Sam Walters.
Well, I had some time to spend with Kenny today on the golf course. So he not only bowls, but he plays golf. And he is he's a former retired crane operator. And he's inspiration for retirement folks, because he says they get to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, and that's real cool. The second thing I learned about it, he taught me something last night I've always wanted to know, is how they get those darn cranes up and down. And he explained it to me last night, and I appreciate it. He's a good guy. He enjoyed playing golf with me.
Thank you, Kenny. Deanna Lutz. David Victor. What can you tell us about Deanna, please?
Well, I didn't do my homework.
Don't feel alone.
You're not alone. But we visited on the trail and had a nice chat and had a nice trail walk today.
Yeah.
We did.
Very well. Very well. Thank you, Dave. Nancy Burning.
Oh, man, that's why you're asking me all these questions. I thought she wanted to talk to you.
Really?
Okay, how do I start this? Should we start with the good or the
Bad.
bad? The bad. Okay, she drinks Corona. I love Corona. She also drinks white wine. It's okay, I make some white wine. She likes white wine. But I think the most interesting thing, I guess I learned, is tonight, when you kind of shared that you do a lot of mission work. And although she's been in the hospital setting for 20 years in Overland Park, Kansas, she's helping a lot of young children become mothers, young children who shouldn't become young mothers yet. She's helping those. She's now doing some missionary work in Haiti, and she's smuggling things. And I just think it's an absolutely awesome thing that she's doing at a time in your life. I just think it's very sweet.
Nancy, you saved the good news for last.
I did. It was awesome what I learned tonight
Yes.
about her.
Thank you, Deanna.
Oh, wait a minute, I had Deanna.
Oh.
Yes. Pardon me, Deb, that's right.
Well, she said Deanna's a social worker. I learned that she has recently tore out carpet and laid a tile floor all by herself. It's pretty admirable. And she's still just as ornery as she ever was. She's recently been dating, and she met a man who, as the conversation went on, it appeared they were completely incompatible. And so he was really anxious to get out of there, but she lingered over dessert just to annoy him.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you, Deb.
Totally me.
Now, Deb, it's your turn. Barb Andrews.
Well, I didn't do all my homework either. That's good. I was running around at the last minute, but one thing I might say is, even though Pam Tinley is here in spirit, I think you did a wonderful job at her memorial, and it was very touching, and you're a very special person.
Thank you, Barb. Yeah, I heard nothing but wonderful comments about that, Deb. That was great. Ron Biggers.
Oh, come
I
on.
didn't do much homework either.
He knows nothing.
I had some big ears over here though, and listened. I knew last night that she carpooled with Deanna in Denver and drove on up here. And she lives in Indianola, and she has 3 grandkids living with her right now.
Wow. Wonderful. Thank you, Ron. Let's see. And Joyce Rogers.
I learned tonight that Deb likes Pride and Prejudice, which I really like a lot. And we both think Mr. Darcy's pretty cool. And she's been to Poland and France, and at one time lived in Philadelphia.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Deb. Marta Walters.
Who's that to, Leslie?
Kathy Watson.
I learned that, Martis, you taught your daughter how to play piano. You are married, blended family, and doing quite well with that. Happily in your marriage. So.
Steve Miller.
Found out that she's having fun breaking in her house.
15 years into this already, and we're still breaking in. It's a big job.
And Steve Burning.
Well, I haven't seen Mara since graduation, so it was interesting to get back in touch with her. But I learned that she's going to Italy in October, and she's been there before, but I know she's going to have a great time this time. And her and Sam own an electrical connectors business. Yeah, together. And so I thought that was very interesting. But the job she gave up, I thought was interesting, the teaching job she gave up. She could speak French fluent enough to teach kindergartners French. And that's the job she left to go to the electrical.
Steve, thank you very much. That's interesting. Sam Walters. Janet, could you please tell us what Sam's like?
Well, I met Sam last night for the first time, and I found out he loves to play golf, and that he has his own business, and he's a Southern gentleman.
Yes, he is. Thank you, Janet. Bill Zacher.
Check out the mustache again. Howdy, Sam. I thought he's from Tennessee, living in Georgia now. Part of the reason he was allowed to come on this trip because he must carry all of Marta's bags. And he had to drive the car, he has to do all the pictures, and he has to buy the wine. And 3 things he informed me that 3 things he has to tell a woman is, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, and yes ma'am. And that will make for a happy marriage.
Deb Hillman.
We met last evening, and I just really enjoyed getting to know you. And I learned that together they have the electrical business called Gold Control. And part of what they do is build electrical components, correct me if I'm wrong. And it's part of the transmission that is in all the wind generators that are throughout the country in the Midwest, and they employ 7,000 people in Iowa because of these wind generators. Wow.
Yeah. I have been to Bold Controls, and it's quite a setup. They have a very nice company down in Georgia. Buford, I couldn't remember the town. Buford, Georgia.
Yeah, this guy walked in one day, and I was gone.
And I almost kicked him out because we had this sign on the window that says no soliciting. No kidding.
And then she found out who it was, and she did kick me out. Let's see. Steve Burning. Stand up, please. Greg Hayes has something he wants to tell you.
No. In fact, I just wanted to emphasize Steve's one of the many folks in here that served his country well. He was in the Navy and the Army Reserve, right? For for many years, so pretty close to service.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I have, Dave, it looks like Christy must have
Yeah,
scooted out.
she went back to the room. We got some beer in there, so.
Okay. Well, we're going to miss out on her comments, but Tim Mathis, would you please tell us what you know about Steve?
Well, okay, I've known Steve a long time, since high school days, of course, and found out a few things. I did do my homework. I did it real late, which is the same way I did it in high school. Anyway, Steve and Nancy, they farm east of Shenandoah, and I did find out they have now started a vineyard, so want some wine to drink? Go
I know
there.
that. Who doesn't?
Oh, well, part of the family. Anyway, and Steve has been in the military for 22 years.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much. Steve, thank you. Nancy, it's your turn. Deb Lord, could you tell us a little bit about Nancy?
Yes, I would. Well, I know that for many years Nancy worked at the Eaton Corporation in Shenandoah. She went to Greece with almost complete strangers. She had met on a cruise, and they've recently been to Italy.
Thank you. Barb Andrews?
I waited to the last minute to talk to her, and she thought nobody really cared. So again, I always wait till the last minute to do things. Ask Kathy. I thought it was interesting that they had 5 grandchildren under the age of 3. That probably keeps them very busy, even though they have 6 in total. She makes about 300 bottles of wine a year, and I learned that she got some of her grapes from Janet's mom's vineyard, so that was very interesting. And she likes to make Christmas stockings for her grandchildren and quilts. She's got 3 Christmas stockings to do this year before Christmas, and she's celebrating her 35th anniversary at Eaton's.
Wonderful. Janet Anton?
Well, I really enjoyed you today, Nancy, when we were hiking. She was our photographer. And she would actually lay down on a rock to get the camera all lined up. And then she
You
would
know, you can do
run
that
over.
when you graduate in 72. You know, you're a little bit younger.
Well, I did enjoy it. And so we had a good day hiking today, but Nancy was telling me about all of her travels with Eaton and working there, and her vineyards and all of her wines, and getting grapes from my mother's grape farms and just build. And it was fun today, Nancy.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Nancy. Tim Mathis, could you please stand? Tim, does Brenda Capel have anything to say?
Tim's very good at dodging.
And it's a talent. Okay. Christy Hayes.
I learned that Tim retired from the DOT after 33 years, and he's now actually getting paid to work on the Wabash Trace.
Wonderful. Thank you. Bill Hillman?
I didn't have to do any research.
Be careful now.
I see him all the time. I do own a bar, you know.
I'll see you later.
But I do know that since high school, he hasn't worked since high school. He did have a job at DOT, but
he hasn't
didn't work. So what do you do when you quit working? You retire. So he's still not working. He still wears women's clothes and hangs out at the mall. Hangs out, dates high school girls.
Well, Bill, thank you for more than enough information. We're going a little off the list here, but in keeping with the spirit of following up with girlfriends or wives or whatever, Janet, program board. Will you stand up? And we're going to have Deb Hillman tell us anything you may know.
Well, I've met a few